Respected Honorable State Minister, Mr. Zunaid Ahmed Palak, Honorable Senior Secretary, Mr. N.M. Ziul Alam, PA, he would be joining us for the closing remarks. Ms. Tina Jabeen, Managing Director and CEO of Startup Bangladesh, and Mr. François Coupienne, Global Digital Lead, UNCDF. Distinguished panelists and participants in this event, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you, as per the time zones you're joining from. A very warm welcome on behalf of UNCDF and Singapore Fintech Festival. And thank you for taking out time for your active participation in this event and for discussions on the important topics that we are going to have that concerns us all. As you know, from 7 to 11 December, UNCDF, in partnership with the Singapore Fintech Festival, is organizing a series of events across multiple countries called Building Inclusive and Resilient Economies in the Digital Era. This event in Dhaka today is one of the satellite events under the series on building inclusive economies in the digital era. Achieving Sustainable Development Goals by 2030 and building back better. These has been our mantra and we all have been working on these. However, as you all know, the socio-economic impact due to the COVID-19 pandemic has brought in additional perspectives and a sense of urgency to tackle now the various facets of lives and livelihoods that we all are concerned about. And a lens that used to be on inclusiveness, last mile outreach and impact, inequality, digital divide, informal markets, disadvantaged and vulnerable sections of the society, addressing public and private needs, aggressive and immediate needs now of funds and overall lives and livelihoods, and so many other aspects. All of them have become more precarious and needs all our efforts and alternate thinking and strategizing options to build back better for all. And in all that we think about, the future efforts of ours that we think, plan, strategize, and want to implement, digital and digital ecosystems are now a mainstream integrated element of our lives and livelihoods. How digital as an enabler allows us to use different channels, products, services, partners, etc., is what we all have been striving to address to achieve the SDGs in an accelerated manner. This event, this Bangladesh event, is all about that and specifically looks at issues and trends from the lens of the majority segment of the population, the governance and the related implementation aspect that works for this majority segment of the population. In this event, we are looking at the enterprise segment, and within that, specifically looking at the micro and small enterprises, which has always been the kind of a least entry barrier for the poor and the majority of the population to seek a livelihood from. We want to understand and discuss how this segment, which mostly works in the informal economy space, gets their access and usage options to benefit them in this digital era. Other aspect of enterprise are the employees. And here we would like to look at how to drive for impact and looking at that impact in terms of the environmental, social, and governance aspects, coupled with digital and finance can benefit employees. And that to women in specific, who comprises the majority, like in Bangladesh in the ready-made garment sector. And for all of this to happen, investments are needed. COVID-19 pandemic impact has put a huge constraint on resources available with the government to meet its population demands and build the resilient, recovered, growth-oriented economy that we all want and talk about. Hence, how can different sources of funds, which enables people to participate, benefit out of these investments, enable government to use such additional sources of funds, and leveraging digital for all the good it brings about is also what we will talk about in this event today. So welcome you once again to this exciting journey of valuable and insightful discussions for around next 3 hours. And once again, would like to thank our distinguished panelists and speakers and you all for joining us. Thank you I now hand it over to Ashraf Bhai. Ashraf Bhai, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajeev Kumar Gupta, for your well-versed welcome address. So now I will request Ms. Tina Jabeen, MD and CEO of Startup Bangladesh Limited, to present on the sneak peek on post-COVID-19 ICT roadmap for Bangladesh. Over to Ms. Tina Jabeen.
Good afternoon, everybody, and big thanks to Singapore Fintech Festival and of course our colleagues and friends in UNCDF. It is indeed an honor to speak at this very distinguished session and also to present the ICT roadmap, post-COVID ICT roadmap of our ICT ministry, which is still in draft form, but it will give, I believe, the audience a flavor of how Bangladesh is tackling the challenges of COVID with its technological tool. We are, of course, very, very honored to have with us our very dynamic leader, Honorable State Minister, Mr. Zunaid Ahmed Palak, MP from ICT Division. Thank you, sir. And in our closing session, we will be accompanied and joined by our Senior Secretary from the ICT Division, NM Ziaul Alam. A very good afternoon to all distinguished guests and audience and dignitaries. And let's just dive into our session. So, I think that we all know that COVID pandemic, COVID-19 has taken a toll and really changed the world forever. And the impact and the effect of COVID-19 will stay with us. And what Bangladesh did, just like many other countries, tackled the situation as it came, but also looked at this as an opportunity to accelerate some of the technological innovations, to accelerate the day-to-day adoption of technology in its citizens' lives and in workplace, especially in the government sectors. And I would like to go over the presentation and kind of share it with you. So we are Bangladesh. This is the flag of Bangladesh. Speaks a lot about this country. We are celebrating a very special year in 2020. It is the centennial birth anniversary of our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, a very, very special year for us. And at the same time, the country is entering its 50th birthday as a sovereign nation. So Bangladesh in 1971 was a war-torn country just out of liberation, got its liberation. But today, after 49 years, the country has very solid standing, very solid financials and fundamentals. The GDP growth has been consistently over a decade, over 7%. Even during this COVID, the country had positive GDP growth, where in the other regional neighbor countries, it has been negative. The middle class affluent community has been increasing 10%, and we are projecting almost 3.5 million of this MAC population by 2025. We have 98% plus mobile penetration, 62% plus internet penetration, 112 million internet users. So this is a country which is really ready to be engaged with the world economy in a very positive way. And of course, we have to share. This is the launching of Bangabandhu satellite, which is absolutely wonderful. Through this, Bangladesh showed that we are serious about becoming the middle income country by 2021, about becoming a high income country in the next 2 decades. A little bit of background about COVID. I said that in the beginning that COVID actually gave us an opportunity to review things that is not working and to also become ambitious, to look at this challenge as a way to as an opportunity. So we saw that there is crisis in public health, in economy, in the livelihood, social crisis, lots of mental health issues, all kinds of stuff. But I'm sure that this has been the case in all over the world, in every single country, probably in a very acute manner, or probably in not so much acute manner. But the thing is, these are the common things that we have seen everywhere. So how did we address COVID challenges? We not only provided solutions during the last 8 months, but we also looked at how COVID challenges needs to be incorporated in our national plans, in our ICT plan and whatnot. So what we came up with is that we need to have digitalization and streamlining in all aspects of our citizens' life, and be it private, be it public, be it the government solutions and the services that we are providing, everywhere. There is a lot to do to streamline, to use technology, and to provide solutions and impact people's lives in a good way. That this is so when we were developing the COVID roadmap, we also looked at our existing ICT policy and what our annual other national goals are. We have certain national plans, such as the 8th five-year plan, our SDG goals, of course, and then we wanted to take those components and kind of incorporate what we have learned during the post-COVID this whole period, and what needs to be incorporated in our ICT policy 2021. And when we looked at doing this whole exercise, we included all our partners. So we took this whole of the society approach. We had almost 300 some sessions with our government counterparts, with our citizens, with our startups who are providing all kinds of solutions to in every sectors, digital commerce, and then education and health and whatnot. And we also, had lots of dialogues and workshops with telcos, accelerators, developmental agencies, and whatnot. So we try to look at, try to get feedback from, all the stakeholders. And when we came up with our plan, we came up with this, 16 key action agenda, which is actually going to create ripple effect, a domino effect, within all these very important sectors, important for Bangladesh, across the economy and the society. We wanted to make sure that the impact is very large scale, it's transformational, and in certain cases, Bangladesh wants to do leapfrogging. So, especially in financial inclusion, fintech area, and also in health tech area. We want to make sure that this is more of a comprehensive roadmap, so that we are prepared for future disaster management. We are better prepared about how to provide the relief operations, the social safety net payments, and things such as that. We also wanted to keep in mind our national aspirations, our SDG goal aspirations, and also things like financial inclusions. So just very quickly, we looked at 8 cross-cutting themes under 10 thematic areas. Some of the cross-cutting themes, you see it on the screen: digital commerce, startup, freelancing, very important for Bangladesh, as we are the second largest freelancing country in the world. The ICT infrastructure, hardware, software, as we want to be the made in Bangladesh, the manufacturing hub for technology tools with this Made in Bangladesh campaign. And the industry that we wanted to focus on is, of course, agriculture, health and well-being, education, employment, financial inclusion, and such. So some of the Dominos Effect agenda, I will go a little quickly over this because there is quite a few slides. But the important thing is I want to bring your attention to this circle, and that is, we can talk a lot about technology, all the things that we want to do, but if we don't have our last mile clients, if they don't have the digital device, if they are not digitally literate and they don't have access to the internet, we cannot really fully implement all these plans that we have. So we started with, the first thing is that, we want to make sure, we want to come up with a plan where every single citizen will have access to digital device, will have affordable access to the internet, and also digitally literate. They need to know how to use these devices, right? So with that in mind, so as you can see, universal access to digital device and internet. So that is one of our action agenda. And what would be the impact? So other than, to access the education and the livelihood opportunities and healthcare and whatnot through the telemed services, the online education that the Education Ministry is now broadcasting through social media and through the television network. In addition to that, it is also going to reduce the digital divide, especially for our 28 million students, but also for everybody all over the country. We are going to reach that last mile client, and the way we want to do it is that we want to launch an universal identity system. We call it UIS, and which is going to be the identity of these users. And through this, they can access all kinds of government services, all kinds of online educations and things such as that. The next thing is universal affordable access to digital literacy. Of course, this is very important, and the government right now is looking into fourth industrial revolution compliant or compliant in a curriculum. With that, we are already working in installing or constructing thousands of Sheikh Kamal IT incubation centers. We already have more than 5,600 Sheikh Russell digital centers all over Bangladesh. And additionally, for 4IR, we are already working on SHIFT, which is Sheikh Hasina Institute for Frontier Technology. So, basically, digital literacy, and also digital literacy, which is up to the 4IR level, is very important. I don't want to say a lot about the policy and regulations. Obviously, all of this, needs to be somehow, needs to make sure that, we have the right policy. We will also have the right partners. In these cases, the developmental agencies and also the ministries and private-public partnerships, those are already kind of mapped out. But right now, we want to focus on the action agenda and the impact for it. So let's move on. I am going to go a little bit faster. So one of the action agenda is the financial data interoperability, which is very, very important. And, as we want to accomplish, financial inclusion 100%, we need to make sure that, there is financial interoperability. So with that in mind, our ICT ministry, in collaboration with our central bank, is working on a flagship project, which is called the Interoperable Digital Transaction Platform. Our Honorable Minister may speak more about it, but just very quickly, this is an interoperable transaction platform, which is going to be a platform where all the payment services, the vendors, the FMCGs, stores, and also our startups who are providing services in e-commerce, providing services working with our MSMEs, all of them are going to be onboarded. So this is going to really revolutionize the fintech industry for Bangladesh. It is also going to provide access for our social protection benefits, also going to provide very comprehensive digital financial services for 80 million citizens and 40 million businesses. The government is very keen to provide all its services through digitally, and also this on interoperability would be able to provide us that ability where we can seamlessly offer 2,500 plus digital services to our citizens. But one thing is very important to keep in mind, that our MSEs, the cottage industries and the medium and small micro enterprises, there is a big thrust in Bangladesh to develop this sector, because they are kind of the powerhouse to generate a lot of employment. And we are also planning we are proposing an alternative credit rating system. So this is also going to be very, very helpful if we can have this financial data interoperability. Next comes our Made in Bangladesh flagship project and slogan. And this is basically, we want Bangladesh to be the manufacturing hub of digital and IoT devices, not just for the domestic market, but for the export market. Just a few things that has happened during COVID. Walton, in collaboration partnership with Medtronic, they are producing these respirators. And of course, I'm sure a lot of you know about the Samsung story, where Samsung is now producing, has a manufacturing facility in our high-tech park. It's producing one of its latest and very popular mobile phones, the smartphones. So we want more of this, and that is our Made in Bangladesh strategy. So not just manufacturing, we want our freelancers to be also part of this high-tech freelancers resource platform for the world. And all of it, this whole thing, what it's going to do at the end, it is going to definitely build up the economic power of the population, and it is going to provide us that economic the flexibility, so that our every citizen would be digitally connected, digitally literate, and of course, we will see a better Bangladesh, a higher income country in a decade or even faster. Interoperable and connected health management system. This has been an area of a big area where we were challenged, and like many other countries. And we would like to explore how we can bring in technology in our healthcare system, especially the public healthcare system. So we are in the process of working with health ministry and other agencies, relevant agencies, where we can put in the latest technological solutions, so that we can provide our citizens healthcare services, very on spot, very quick, the non-communicable disease type of testing type of services, and also just in general, give the citizens a better healthcare system, so that with economic benefits, economic well-being, the mental and health well-being of every citizen is also enhanced. So then the next agenda we have is basically e-commerce and the digital commodity exchange. I'm just going to cover it together. So basically, technology is definitely going to be the tool for us. Our e-commerce market, it is projected, is going to be more than $1 billion by 2021. So definitely, we need to bring in technology. So and once we bolster this e-commerce market with technology, and we can have a digital commodity exchange, aggregate marketplace, we will bring in almost 5 million formal employment, and also which is going to definitely, fuel the economic growth of the country. Also, it is going to provide 30 million the jobs for our 30 million youth and citizens. We are also proposing a national skills registry for both formal and informal economy. So this is basically, again, one of the big focus is to create employment. And the way you create employment is when you actually upskill your current, population. And the way
we have time.
I'm sorry. Oh, I see. Okay, I will wrap it up very soon then. So, just a very quickly, national skills registry for both formal and informal economy. Obviously, it's going to feed into a lot of employment generation. And very quickly on the national policy and the agenda for startups, one of the overarching thing in our post-COVID roadmap is we want to plug in startups everywhere. And that's why, our honorable Prime Minister very graciously allocated almost $55 million and launched the Startup Bangladesh, the first VC fund by the government of Bangladesh and the largest VC fund in the country. And obviously, one of our mission is going to drive this policy and also work with our startup community to make Bangladesh one of the, again, startup hub for the world. And of course, ease of doing business index 50 by 2025. That's one of our ambitious plan. And the last point is that, paperless government. We want to make sure that digitally we are providing services to our citizens, and it should be seamless. And the digital Bangladesh vision will come true through all of these strategies. Very quickly on the implementation timeline, as you can see, 2021, we are doing a big push on the Made in Bangladesh, the startups, and the financial data interoperability. And a very big thank you from all of us. And I would like to invite all of you to join Digital World, which is going to start December 9th. And as you can see, the slogan is socially distanced and digitally connected. Again, thank you so much for letting me speak, and thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, Ms. Tina, for sharing the ICT roadmap for Bangladesh, post-COVID ICT roadmap. So now I would like to invite Mr. François Coupienne, the Global Digital Lead UNCDF, to deliver his keynote speech. The theme of his keynote speech is Building Inclusive and Resilient Nation, Connected Economies and International Cooperation. Over to Mr. François Coupienne.
Honorable State Minister for ICT of the Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, Mr. Zunaid Ahmed Palak, Ms. Tina Jabeen, a Managing Director and CEO of Startup Bangladesh Limited, and their participant and viewer of today's DACA event. A good afternoon and warm welcome to the United Nations Capital Development Fund, organized in partnership with the Singapore Fintech Festival on the theme Building Inclusive and Resilient Economies in the Digital Era. So the DACA event under this year's Singapore Fintech Festival, I think is the first of its kind due to the COVID-19 pandemic, as this has brought a paradigm shift in the way we are thinking and responding to the changing reality of how we work and how we grow beyond from here. So treating this as an opportunity to expand the festival presence across the globe. So UNCDF, in partnership with the Singapore Fintech Festival, has decided to embrace a new collaborative model to help foster partnership, generate investment, and create really global channels around inclusive information available to all. So as such, there will be satellite events in various cities across the globe. And I think I'm really happy to be today with all of you to be able to open here concerning, let's say, the DACA satellite event. So we are collaborating with the Singapore Fintech Festival in multiple countries where we are present, in Africa, in Asia and the Pacific, with more than 30 sessions to achieve, I think, a common goal of building a community of practice. And we would like to build this community of practice really to be able to build inclusive and readiness. And so we'd like to bring together the markets that are maybe at different stage of their digital transformation journey under a common umbrella to be able to share and learn from each other's experience, build new partnership, and really find avenues for growth. So with this global network of partners, regulators, and I think these tremendous platforms given by the Singapore Fintech Festival, our main objective for this engagement are really to be able to develop this community of practice that could share, let's say, the lessons from, let's say, all countries around the world, around, let's say, leaving no one behind in the digital era. Also use this opportunity to implement a platform for driving investment by connecting startup and investor across, let's say, the different countries. And then also, I think, build the world better in the post-COVID times. And really, especially, we would like to socialize the concept of financial health beyond financial inclusion. And we'll have, let's say, a specific session on this. And last but not least, one of the points is that UNCDF, together with UNDP, is the Secretariat of Digital Financing Task Force. So we really would like also to take this platform to be able to see how we can continue to leverage technology in order to accelerate the financing of the SDG. But let's come, let's say, more specifically about the DACA event. And so the DACA event is organized with 3 panel discussions on topics that are really highly relevant, I think timely and critical for Bangladesh in the context of DACA's journey towards transitioning from LDC, achieving the 2030 agenda and the Vision 2041, that is to become a developed nation by 2041. So we at UNCDF, we are really keen that the Honorable State Minister for ICT, Mr. Zunaid Ahmed, really joined as chief guest to formally open this event. The 3 panel discussions are organized around, let's say, 3 different thematic areas. The first one is about addressing the informal economy needs. It's about, let's say, micro, small, and medium enterprise digital transformation. And really the objective is to see how we can transitioning, let's say, out of informality through the use of digital technology. The second panel discussion is about domestic resource mobilization for SDG-linked investment. And there I think we're really, let's say, focusing also on some of the results from digital financing task force. The last one is about green and sustainable industry with a particular focus on ready-made garments. I really encourage all of you present here to participate to this panel, let's say, that will take place after this opening session, because I'm really convinced it will help, let's say, all of us to further advance the agenda of an inclusive digital transformation in Bangladesh. So let's talk about digital transformation in Bangladesh. So the current government Digital Bangladesh vision, I think, proposed to mainstream ICT as a proper tool to eradicate poverty, establish good governance, and ensure social equity through quality education, healthcare, and law enforcement for all, and also to prepare people for climate change. So UNCDF has been a trusted partner of the member state where it works, and especially in Bangladesh, our presence and joint work with the government of Bangladesh dates back to 1976. In 2016, the financial inclusion practice area of the UNCDF has started its journey in Bangladesh, and for the last 4 years has been pursuing the promotion and advocacy for the digital transformation of the economy in line with the Vision 2021 of the current Honorable Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina. So we have joined hands with the ICT division, with A2I, with the Financial Institution Division, and the Bangladesh Bank to foster innovation in areas of emerging issues like digital financial services, interoperability, eKYC, and a specific agenda for micro merchants, micro enterprise, and technology-driven women entrepreneurship development. In 2019, so last year, UNCDF expanded its scope of work from digital finance to inclusive digital economy. And we rolled out, let's say, our new strategy called Leaving No One Behind in the Digital Era. I think with this expanded strategy, our vision is really to promote digital economies that leave no one behind. And our strategic goal is to equip millions of people in the countries where we are active to use innovative digital services in their daily life that will empower them and that will contribute to achieving the Sustainable Development Goal. So we are working with the government and the private sectors really to be able to identify what are the key market and constraints that are really hindering the development of an inclusive digital economy, and work together in seeing, let's say, how we can put in place the right action activities in order, let's say, for the digital economy to flourish. So the UN digital strategy is in line with the vision and aspiration of Bangladesh, and also it coincides with the 8 5-year plans periods of Bangladesh. So in line with this global strategy, also, let's say, my team in Bangladesh apply and draft a specific strategy for the country to focus on the key priorities in the country. It has been recently shared with the ICT division for feedback earlier this year. Also, in order to support the government in the digital transformation, we developed a new tool that we call the Inclusive Digital Economy Scorecards. So the Digital Economy Scorecard, called IDES, is a policy tool to support government in measuring the development of the digital transformation, as well as its inclusiveness. And I think this is critical, as in many cases, digital development without a focus on inclusiveness may leave, let's say, millions of people out of the development and the benefits of, I think, the digital transformation. So we are really eager to build a partnership with the ICT division of the government of Bangladesh, and we would like to support this initiative of the ICT division in its pursuit of building. So in the post-pandemic era, cooperation will be key to build a resilient economy. So post-pandemic rebuilding and continuation of development journey should focus on the loss of income, employment and livelihoods sectors, and we must think so more adaptive and highly responsive to a rapidly evolving system. In this backdrop, UNCDF and Singapore Fintech Festival DACA satellite event brings this opportunity to engage with global community, share experience, and also build global cooperation to build back better, regain the pre-pandemic development journey to achieve the vision. So I really would like to extend my gratitude to the Honorable State Minister, as you have been very interested in the work of UNCDF in Bangladesh. I have known, let's say, from my colleagues that you take, let's say, a personal interest in our work and joined us in our event in the past. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I would like to invite all of you to the following panel discussion and contribute a lot by asking a lot of questions and providing feedback. Thank you very much.
Thank you, François, for your keynote speech. Now I would like to request our Honorable State Minister for ICT and one of the champion of Digital Bangladesh to deliver his speech and open the event for today. Over to you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ashraf, for your kind introduction. Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning from Bangladesh. I'm delighted to welcome you to Singapore Fintech Festival 2020. It is a great honor for me to deliver a keynote speech at this very important forum. I would like to first thank UNCDF and SSF team for supporting the organization of this festival, and also would like to extend a warm welcome to all the participants, fellow representatives. At the outset, I would like to pay my homage to the founding father of Bangladesh, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who dreamt of a golden Bengal. This year, we are celebrating the centennial birth anniversary of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who laid the founding stones on which our nation is built upon. In 2008, the Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina declared the Digital Bangladesh Vision. The Digital Bangladesh Vision, or Vision 2021, is the promise to become a middle-income nation by 2021 by leveraging ICT and a knowledge-based economy by 2041. The Digital Bangladesh Vision is the modern concept of Bangabandhu's Sonar Bangla, or Golden Bengal. The architect of Digital Bangladesh, Mr. Rajeev, was a joy. The Honorable ICT Advisor to the Honorable Prime Minister strategized her vision and gave us an implementation roadmap to make Digital Bangladesh a reality. The strategic leadership of these three leaders is the guiding light that has helped Bangladesh graduate from least developed nation to a middle-income economy and well in our way to becoming a knowledge economy by 2041. The primary focus of Digital Bangladesh Vision has been on innovation. In 2010, we innovated Union Digital Centers, which is a public-private partnership model for service delivery to the last mile, for which we have received many international awards. In 2010, our leadership had the foresight to understand the impact of mobile financial services, and we approved the policy that led the innovative solution and to the evolution of MFS in Bangladesh, resulting in companies like Bikash, which is one of the top mobile financial platforms in the world. Today, during the pandemic, Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina distributed 2,500 DACA to over 5 million people using mobile financial platform. This was possible because we already had an ecosystem where almost 90 million people are using mobile financial services. When ride-sharing was getting popular in the region, we supported local startups, and that resulted in our local ride-sharing giant Patao, which has raised over $100 million in foreign investment. In 2015, we launched our national portal, which housed more than 25,000 government websites under one platform, and now currently hosts over 50,000 government websites and thousands of services. In 2015, when we launched the portal, it was a global innovation recognized by WSIS of ITU, because at that time we were the first to do so at that scale. These are just some of the examples of the open mindset of government of Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to invest and nurture in innovation and research. Under the ICT division, we have created an innovation lab, an innovation design and entrepreneurship academy, through which we support R&D projects and startups. Looking ahead, we are focused on developing our youth in the 4 IR stack and are building schools of the future, frontier technology labs at universities, and advanced digital labs in schools and colleges across the country. We are building Center of Excellence on 4 IR technologies and have built business incubators at university level and have undertaken a futuristic program termed SHIFT, Sheikh Hasina Institute of Frontier Technology, to develop the future tech scientists and leaders of Bangladesh. Our growth strategy for Vision 2041 prioritizes our investment in research and innovation. The government is establishing National Innovation Agency, which will work to build an ecosystem and conducive policy environment with the support of industry, research labs, universities, and entrepreneurs. We have also built around 5,000 Sheikh Russell digital labs across the country and are building 8,000 more to help train our youth both at school and college levels. This infrastructure will help us take 4IR skills and knowledge to schools across the Bangladesh. To support innovation and entrepreneurship, we are building Sheikh Kamal IT training incubators in 64 districts. Through the Startup Bangladesh Company and Innovation Design and Entrepreneurship Academy, we have allocated over $45 million to support innovative startups. Our focused investment areas include health tech, edutech, agritech, fintech, biotech, nanotech, robotics, and other frontier technology areas that are driving the change in industries. Last week, the Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina approved 5 of our strategies: National AI Strategy, National Blockchain Trust Strategy, National Robotics Strategy, Internet of Things Strategy, and Microprocessor Design Strategy. ICT Division is leading in each of these frontier tech areas in facilitating R&D, skill development, and ensuring the inclusion of these technologies in our national curriculum through discussions with Education Ministry. The impressive work done by United Nations Capital Development Fund in Bangladesh cannot be overlooked. Through its support to Bangladeshi government and Bangladesh Bank, UNCDF has continued to work on promoting an enabling environment for digital financial services. Moreover, they have been continuing to work with one of the most important sectors in Bangladesh, small businesses. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to also thank UNCDF for leading the current efforts that seek to strengthen the collaboration between all critical role players in providing financial services, including banks, the mobile network operators, microfinance institutions, NGOs, partner ministries, and our development partners. To celebrate the centennial birth anniversary of founding father of Bangladesh, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, we have established a Bangabandhu Innovation Grant, or BIG for short, through which we are funding 100 startups from Bangladesh as well as from across the globe. I would like to invite international startups to apply for BIG by January 25th, 2021. As the pandemic continues to threaten economies of the world, Bangladesh is relying on digital technologies, strong infrastructure and facilities, and its digital human resources to steer its way through the new normal. This is not the time to compete, but rather to collaborate to build together a better world for our next generation. So with this, I would like to conclude my speech, and I'm really glad to declare open of this session. Thank you very much for your patient hearing.
Thank you, Honorable State Minister for ICT, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, for joining us today and graciously opening this event for us. We think this will forge the relationship between UNCDF and Bangladesh, and more particularly ICT Division and UNCDF Bangladesh team will work jointly together going forward. Thank you for joining. Thank you, sir.